justice for all.
Roll call.
President Nee,
Here.
Vice President Parker,
Here.
Director Reforma,
Here.
Director Vasquez. Here. And Director Chavez. Here.
Conflict of interest. Any council authority member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda items to be considered is declared a conflict at this time. None seen. Is there any public comment? None. No presentations today. On the consent agenda, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
All in favor? Aye. See here, discussion and possible action item. Discussion and possible action to elect board officers for calendar year 2024.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. A section of the California Government Code for Special Districts states that the board of directors may elect the officers of the board annually, and this action may be taken at the beginning of every calendar year. So, up to the board on this.
I'd like to elect Jonathan for president.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye. And I would elect Cody for vice. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Got that done.
I'm sorry.
Is the meeting stand as it is, or is it supposed to be now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dennis, I am not sure. Do they switch seats right now, or do they wait until next month? I don't recall.
I think we'll wait until next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's see, discussion of possible action item to approve resolution 2024-575, resolution designation signatories for district warrants, wire transfers.
Yeah, Michelle will address this.
Good afternoon. This resolution is done annually. It's taken to the county so they have up-to-date check signers and warrant sign, or the wire transfer signers. The general manager and the board are the check signers, and then the general manager of the board, and then the office staff are the wire transfer signers. So for the payroll, the wire transfers, we have to have somebody sign those, and that's what this is for.
Do we have a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2024-575 for designated signatures for the district warrants and wire transfers.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Discussion and possible action item to ratify termination with total comp.
Yes, at the December meeting, the staff expressed their dissatisfaction with the IT services of Totalcom, and staff had been communicating, negotiating with Apex Technology Management for about a year or so. They made a presentation regarding their services at the December meeting. So we've been communicating with Barbara Stoddard from Totalcom regarding a proposed move for services to Apex. Said she was sorry to see us go, but she's cooperating with us by directing her employees to make a proper and secure transition. The transition will not be made until Apex has been approved by the board.
Thanks, Ernie. Public comment? Okay. We have a motion to approve the termination with total comp.
I'll make a motion. second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discussion of possible action to enter into agreement with Apex.
Yes, this is the agreement that was submitted by Apex, has been reviewed by our legal counsel, and our attorney requested some changes in the agreement, and it was being reviewed at the time that we sent the agenda packet out, so it wasn't completed by the Friday, but I do have the agreement that Michelle, that Apex submitted to Michelle, and we have George Pasadakis here in case you have any questions regarding the Apex agreement.
Make a motion that we enter an agreement with Apex.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion of possible action to approve the mid-year budget review.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board. The annual mid-year budget review is essential element in maintaining financial stability because it gives us an opportunity to review all the funds, make adjustments to achieve a more accurate budget for the current fiscal year, and help shape next year's budget. The analysis here, as you can see on the revenue in the water, there's a difference of a negative $40,986.87. On the sewer, it's $49,095.34. And of course, the rest are they're in the flag. Overall revenues that exceed overall expenses are those admin overtime, advertising, admin legal fees, and of course, that's with the court thing that we got going. Meter purchase of $83,000. Maintenance, travel, and expense, and of course, that was the Florida conference that Mike and Michelle attended. The equipment repaired to do that rehab on Well 7, and then some of the leaks on the road, and then the maintenance contract with Third Lot, fees for exceeding DOD flow and TSS. And we believe that that has to do with some bad sampling that has been occurring. But anyway, hope to the overall, we're really doing good. You have anything to mention on this? No. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them as best I can. I don't have all the information, all the invoices and stuff before me, but you do have all the fund report on selected budgeting. And again on this is I think it would have been more of an informational item. All of these issues, we want to really address and discuss in more in depth once we, if we get a Saturday workshop coming up.
There's really no major adjustments that we can make to the budget, right?
Right.
Until the rest of the fiscal year.
Right, that's correct.
We could go in and amend the admin legal fees if we wanted to. That would be
Right,
something
right. I
could
mean,
do,
we
because
can
it's a mid-year.
make the overall adjustments, but these are line items that have been busted, and it's not the overall budget. As far as the overall budget, we're really good.
Correct.
Mhm.
I know these are hard to understand, but right now, if you don't understand it, it's the time to ask the questions that you wanted to answer. There's no rush, there's no, again, like I said, they're just showing us where we thought we were gonna put our money and showing us where we spent more money than we thought we were going to this far in the first 6 months of the fiscal year. We're not going broke, it's just showing where, next year, when we're redoing the budget, where we would either put more money at or just be ready to tighten that area up in our budget.
We'll get a Saturday workshop scheduled today, hopefully.
To better understand the budget and what it is and how we're gonna. I just wanted to give anybody a chance to ask any questions prior to moving out of this action item.
I think I'm good.
Okay. So then I will make a motion that we approve the mid-year budget review.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Items from the general manager.
Michelle, you're up first.
In December, we billed 1,438 customers. We received a total revenue of $260,000 from water, sewer, and streetlights. We received $14,000 more for the month of December 2023 than we did in December of 2022. We spent $38,000 more for the month of December 23 than we did in December of 22. Right now, we have $9.7 million in the water fund. 8.5 of that is in California class. We have $1.6 million in the sewer fund. 1.5 of that is in California class. And we have $226,000 in the streetlight fund and $154,000 is in the California class.
Thank you.
Round up.
Yeah, that's
I printed off a couple of items, a drought report, the California State Water Resource Control Board, the Division of Drinking Water, we're required annually to provide a report to them. It's in the recent few years, it's been electronic annual report that we have to get done by. It varies from March to May, depending on when they get everything ready. But this last year, they started requiring us to. Basically, it's a monthly input of data, but it's we have a deadline quarterly. So we basically could get those first 3 months, or January, February, March, by the end of, or by April 1st, I believe it is. Anyway, since we've completed the year, we still have to do the annual report. This is just supply and demand aspect of it. I printed off a couple of pages, so I just wanted to kind of show you guys what the supply was. Groundwater production was 274,462,000 gallons. You can kind of see July was our highest month, 33,421,000 gallons. And February was the lowest, 14 million, almost 15 million gallons. So that's the supply. Demand, they have a breakdown. They want to know how single family, residential, multifamily, commercial, institutional, industrial customers. So there's a breakdown of basically all of those customers. And what went through the meter, and it's 260 million gallons. So that ends up with approximately 14 million gallons of water loss. And which is actually pretty good. From my understanding, anything less than 15% is pretty good. This is about 5%. You might wonder where 14 million gallons went. Water leaks, fire department using water. There's certain things that can be unaccounted for. Metered water. Well 7 rehab, when we pumped that water, it went to waste. It didn't go all the way through the plant. So there's places where it may be accounted for on the production side, but never gets through somebody's meter. So you always have a little bit less. Anyway, that number I think is pretty good. It just kind of gives you a breakdown, and it's actually, I added residential, the single and multifamily residential. I think about 85% of our water usage to residential customers. And then there's a demand breakdown. It kind of shows each month maximum day demand, what day that was. July 2nd was the highest day, 1.265 million gallons. And then there's a breakdown of the water loss. And that's actually, most of the other stuff is pretty solid data. What went through our customers' meters, what went through our meters at the well sites, all that. But when it gets to the water loss, it's a difference, but the monthly data can be a little bit off because we don't read the meters on the same day that we read the meters for the plant. What else? Anyway, I just wanted to provide that so you guys had that. And then next bill I had was, I mentioned that at the last meeting that we met with Robert Lapp from the Division of Drinking Water, and they conducted a sanitary survey. And I just wanted to provide that to you. I don't want to read everything out of there, but mainly I want to read the first couple of things. Section 1, items requiring attention. It's a summary of minor deficiencies, and that's regarding the aluminum chlorohydrate. And he says, per the 2021 sanitary survey, and since the system has finished investigating the addition of ACH into the backwash water and concluded that it wishes to continue to dose ACH, the system must submit a permit amendment application, including the final technical report and chemical data sheet for the addition of the ACH to the groundwater treatment process via the backwash injection point by April 30th, 2024. We've asked, or I've reached out to our engineers, which I still need to follow up with them to help us with this and the next item to make sure that we can get everything that they're asking for. But as part of it also says, as part of the investigation on using the ACH, the system has expressed interest in using ACH upstream of the filter to aid in the filtration process and as an alternative to the dosage manually after a backwash. If the system wishes to use ACH upstream of the filters, the system must first prepare a technical report detailing implementation of such a configuration, conduct jar testing alongside the other chemicals to determine approximate dosages, and draft a pilot study plan which will detail the plan in which the system will test the ACH in a full-scale testing phase. Once those items have been approved by the division, the system can proceed with the pilot study according to the approved pilot study plan. And in the past, when I talked to them, I understood it as being a separate study, but we can do it in a full scale.
That's something you guys can do in the main part yourself, we don't have to bring in. like you
We
said,
just need help from our engineers to get the technical report. We did conduct some jar testing prior, but I believe we just had that as kind of a added service. We didn't ask them for a report for the jar testing. We just kind of wanted to see if it would work. It appeared that it would, but typically when you do jar testing, you do different dosages, and the chemical supplier that they came out and did the jar test, he ended up with just a one dosage, told us this is where he thinks it would be, and filtered, we had to pull water out of that with a syringe through a filter, and then we tested it for arsenic, and it came back non-detect. And that was at 20 parts per million dose of ACH, which a part of this would be determining if that dosage would be financially viable too, because I don't know the cost of the ACH versus
Right now, we're
the
not,
iron.
right now, you're not adding the ACH upstream as you.
We're just adding it as a backwash as a settling aid,
Okay.
and just in researching other systems, there's other systems that have either ACH or a similar type of coagulant they've used in place of or in combination with the other chemical. So we don't know if it would take, if we could fully remove doing the iron, or if it had to be a combination. And the combination of the two, would it be cost comparable to, or
We don't even have a process in adding the ACH upstream at this time, right, because you guys haven't done it yet.
well, we have to, well, so we can utilize our acid pumps, because we're no longer dosing acid, so we couldn't, we would set up a temporary piping until we confirmed whether that was able to be used. But we would use the acid pumps and the controls and everything there. We would just have to put the information in the SCADA, because it'll be different dosages, amounts, and different strengths. It basically calculates what the dose should be.
Which would be logic updates, upgrades, and everything else. I'm just making.
Yeah, it'd be minor.
Okay.
It'd just be
And you guys have that.
plug it in. We can do that.
that.
So that's, we need to, like I said, we need to reach out to them and ask for some help. I'm not sure what all that's going to entail right now, but the other thing he pointed out on there, and this kind of, I got to follow back up, but I think I provided some of this information for the ACH form prior to the permit, the initial permit. But maybe there was a little disconnect somewhere. I thought we were fine under there as docent. He's saying we were conducting the investigation. So either way, I know the information's in there, so I don't know how much more or if anything, I need to provide them for that. I'll have to clarify that. But if we are going to try it in this other way, then it would be better to submit the permit amendment.
So what happens if we're not in compliance by April? Right, if he's telling us that we have to do this way because this is the process that they want, right? Am I understanding that?
Yeah, so I'm not certain. I would probably have to reach out and see if we could get an extension, but I don't think there'll be a problem in
It wouldn't be a
unless
No violation, no
No.
fines, no nothing like that.
More of a suggestion.
the main thing.
The way I read it is he's telling us that we have to change our process and actually start doing it upstream to allow us to feed into.
Ultimately, the main thing is we may have to do 2 permit amendments. One, to get the ACH finalized, how we're doing it, and then the other, if we were able to do it pre-filter. And then the other item was directly after, was a storage tank bypass. And he asked us that when we were out there, but basically he says the finished water storage tank stores finished water from the treatment process for the distribution system and is a source of filtered backwash water. The water system does not have the capability to bypass the tank to accommodate tank outages for periodic maintenance and inspection. The system shall evaluate all options and update the operation plan as necessary so that a plan is in place in the event that the storage tank would need to be taken offline. We have mentioned this in past meetings. Essentially, he looked at it, looked around and said, there's no bypass here to go right into the booster system and right out, And we said no, and that's something that we brought up even before the plant was built, that we're only going to have 1 tank. How are we going to do anything with the tank down? It needs maintenance. And our understanding and the way all the wells are piped is we can go directly into the system, but it is untreated water. You're not treating for arsenic. You could, if the other plant's built prior to have to take that down, you would be able to still treat for 123 TCP, but you wouldn't be able to treat for arsenic. My understanding to that was that we would have to notify the customers ahead of time that the water's not going to be treated for X amount of time, and then and probably the division, I'm sure the division, so that they know that that's happening, and get approval that we're doing it. But typically, I would say it would probably be like a month it would be down to say it needed recoated. It all depends on what needs to be done on there, but there's a process for when we get the tank drained out after they recoat, and then you have to fill it up. You have to let the water set in there for approximately 5 days, I think it is, close to a week, and have certain tests done to make sure that no chemicals are leaching off of the new coating prior to being able to put it back in service. So potential's there that you would have to provide untreated water for arsenic for approximately a month while you did that. Unless we come up with a whole different deal, which could be temporary tanks. That's something he mentioned. It seems like it'd be very problematic with our minimal site unless we could get our neighbors to share some space with us while we're doing that, or rent it, or and it'd probably be a costly deal to get set up. But those are the options, and basically we've got to maybe no more than anything is just make sure in our operations plan that it calls out to do that thing. And I think mainly the operations plan address the plant over there itself. It didn't really address, you know, if that, like if the tank went down, this is what we would do at the well sites. Close these valves, open these valves, and we would continue feeding water, but it would be untreated. And it would be for this time being, but I think that, that may be a plan. They may not, we may submit it, they may not be okay with that. They may say you're gonna have to provide, tanks, portable tanks somewhere and do that. It'd be a big chore.
Yeah. Another possibility that we're also looking at is because their water lines are all the way to Barnhart, making a connection with Turlock, because their water line is always all the way to Price Ford. And then we could meter that, and then we can buy water from Turlock during that period. So that's another thing that we're looking at. We've been in touch with Carlos Guerrero from Turlock. They're well aware of our issue, and so we're also looking at that.
And he did mention that that would be something that would, I think, the state would be helpful in paying for. They like any type of, anything like that that would help basically guarantee that your customers are not gonna be without water.
Right, they said that they were willing to pay up to 75% of the cost of the construction cost, and that was quoted to us by Brian Kidwell from the Supplier Board.
The rest of it's just more informational for you, y'all to read through whenever you have time. I don't want to go over all of that.
Sounds a lot better than trying to get some more ground for the area over there.
Yeah, and then the guys have been, pretty much right now, they've been out cleaning all the manholes, just kind of getting them, cleaning those and kind of learning where they're all at. Replaced all the meters that we have, except for a few that we're planning on using for the new homes, and we're waiting on some more endpoints, antennas, before we can do any more. So that's pretty much what they're doing. They're going to be going next week. Each one of them's got scheduled for treatment, distribution, and collection system classes. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. The other thing in your packet has to do with Board of Directors compensation information. This is something that Dennis had been working on, and he provided it early enough to get it onto this agenda, but because of illness with the staff, we weren't able to do the public hearing, and since it's an early meeting at the 23rd. But Michelle's already got it set up for the notice of public hearing. It'll be printed, and I also wanted to show you, this is what's going to be coming back for you next month for discussion and possible action. The ordinance for the Board of Directors says, Board of Directors, Community Service District finds and declares that California Water Code sections 2200 and California section 61047 provide that each director may be compensated for up to 6 days of service a month. A day of service is defined in that section. The board also finds and declares the water code sections provide for an increase in compensation up to 5% for each calendar year following the operative date of the last adjustment. So at $255.27 for each day of service, not exceeding 6 days of service a month for the board president, and $191.45 for each day of service, not exceeding 6 days of service for the directors. And this will become effective 60 days after passage. And on the next page, you can see how Dennis did the calculations because he went back to the 5% starting in 2020 that's just for your information, letting you know that that's going to be coming in your next, at your next board meeting. And then also as you saw in your packet, I sent a letter out to the community letting them know about all of the issues that we got ongoing, et cetera, construction projects. And so I'm letting them know that I would be requesting to schedule a Saturday workshop in February for the purpose of reviewing our ongoing projects, our 5-year capital improvement program. Other issues to be discussed will include district's financial status and future budget requests. And then, of course, the public's invited to attend this workshop. It'll be an informal meeting where you'll have opportunity to ask questions, express your views and thoughts regarding any issue having to do with the district. And so, if it's okay with you guys and you can come up and agree on a workshop date, we can put it into our message and send it out with our billing. Of course, we put it on our website. And of course, right now, this meeting is being recorded, so it'll also be on Key City News. And at the MAC meeting, and Stephen can attest to this, there was quite a discussion on a lot of issues having to do with rapid stop signs and noise and smoke and pollution and everything else. But the biggest thing that they had was they were concerned about a Sheriff substation here, okay? Now, again, I didn't mention it to them because I hadn't talked to you as the board here, but what I was thinking is that, oh, by the way, I went to the county last week and submitted our application for the abandonment of Jenny. And Chad Johnson gave me a tour of their facility, and they got a brand new building that they just put in 2018. Beautiful, state of the art. So anyway, he stated that the road commissioner was going to grant that. And again, granted, space is at a premium here because when we redo our new building, you need to have off-street parking. And I don't know just how much that's going to be taking. But I was going to ask the board to at least consider us approaching the county and saying, in a new building, if we dedicate some corner to a Sheriff substation and somehow get them to, the nexus would be, of course, it would improve our security for our own building, etc. And I don't know, make it so that the sheriff would be willing to say, hey, yeah, it would be nice to have a nice little office here where the sheriffs can come in, do their report with the people here, or, you know, have their lunch or whatnot. I think that that would really be something for the community, because I believe that the community is the district and vice versa. And I think that this would be something that would really benefit our whole community. And so if I don't hear any objections from any of you, I will look into it, talk to Chance Condit and Vito, get their take on it. Maybe we could have them participate, or maybe lease it out for a minimal amount a month or whatnot. But I certainly would like to chase that down.
Sounds good.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so with that, the last thing I had is after this meeting, Mike, Kevin, and I are gonna be meeting with Mario Gavea and Nick Fontaine. They're finalizing the 123 TCP project. They're getting ready to submit the engineer's estimate and because the plans have already been approved 99%. And so we're just gonna tie down the loose ends, and I think we're gonna be getting ready to go out to bid for that project sometime next month. And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
No, you guys wanna look at the calendar now, as far as February? Figure something out.
I'm off the weekend of the 16th, so I believe it'll be what, the
17th?
17th would be the day. I know there's a holiday.
And the 19th,
Oh, that's St. Patty's Day.
President's Day.
Oh, President's Day, yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the workshop would be from 11 to about 1:30. Won't be much. Yeah, what we want to do is just go back, review what we've done before, what we want to do. I also want to have asked the department heads to also have a little presentation on their employees, show the community what it is that they're involved with, like sewer line cleaning and different things, the operation of the plant, just so that the community will know that these guys have a lot of responsibility on their hands.
Well, I just think the 17th, a lot of people are going to be going out of town.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I didn't realize there was a holiday right
You working on the 24th?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
there. What time is it gonna start at?
I would say at 11, and we'd have lunch and work right through it. Yeah, a couple of hours at the most. I don't think that if there's anything really controversial that,
Could we do a morning one,
well, we can do.
like 8 in the morning?
Sure, we can do that too.
Well, from 11.
Yeah, I know, there's some that,
Well, it'd be, it would work good for Johnson and me, but,
or we can do it at 10 or.
I'm just playing, whatever.
No, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be making it. I would make it on the 2nd of March.
Okay, we can go to
I
March.
know we're pushing it out a little bit, but the 2nd of March,
That's okay, that would work too. I mean, it's not something that is really pressing.
yeah.
Gives us more time, and I guess the weather would be even better.
yeah, I don't know when they're bringing water into the system for me, but I think that, I can probably make that work too.
March 2nd, you okay, Ronnie? Okay.
Good?
In the morning?
Melody, you
No,
okay
no.
with March 2nd
Yeah.
at 11?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
11 March 2nd.
okay.
Good.
Right.
All right, thank you, everybody. See here. Any additional staff comments? We did cover that. Any director comments? Okay, Steve, 150, we're gonna go ahead and go into closed session. Significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph